Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of That Christian Vlog. We're gonna join me and Becca and experience faith in the first person. Dang, you look super white with the sun on your face, dude. Like crazy white. This weekend we are in Maryland at a Christian retreat center called Mount Etna. Actually, in about half an hour, our team is gonna be sharing some testimonies, and then I'll be sharing a little devotional. Do it again. So we're doing our last minute preparation. Becca's gonna be going up front and she's gonna be doing a spoken word. How do you feel?
Oh, scared.
You feel like you're gonna throw up? We just finished our little testimonies and worship thought today, and I thought I'd share with you guys what we're talking about. Today, I was talking about what to do with fears, because there are so many times that we are afraid of whatever next step that God is calling us. Maybe there's a transition in our life, or maybe God's calling you to share the good news with someone else, and a lot of times we're afraid. So baby, have you ever been afraid to follow what God has called you to do?
Yeah, probably when he called me to go to the Philippines.
For those of you who don't know, Emily actually was a missionary in the Philippines for like a year.
When I got there, I called my mom on the phone bawling. I'm like, why am I here? I don't want to be here. Like, I don't know the culture, I don't know anybody, and I was really scared.
A verse that I really like is in 2 Timothy chapter 1, where it says, you know, God doesn't give us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. Like, there are times in our lives where we are afraid, but we have to recognize that those moments, they don't come from God. Just finished worship. This is the band. We're trying to take a selfie with them. Okay, ready, guys? Ready?
Wait, you're coming.
Sam, come on, hurry up.
All right, ready?
I want to be Sam.
1, 2, and 3. So there are many times in our lives where we experience fear, and if God isn't the one that gives us the spirit of fear, something that I find helpful is to remind myself where that fear is coming from then, if it's not coming from God. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of fear like if there's a Rottweiler who's barking at you, foaming at the mouth. Like, that's a healthy amount of fear. But a lot of times in life decisions, there's fear that holds us back, and it's really helpful to recognize that that's not coming from God. See, one of the things about fear is that if you give into this fear, it usually stops you from entering into the best experience that you could possibly have. To give you a practical example is, you know, one of the things that scared me the most was about a year and a half ago when I was contemplating asking Emily to marry me. I was so terrified, so afraid of what this next step could be. And if I had listened to that fear, how different would my life be, and how much, and talk about a huge experience that I'd be missing out on. Fears only stop you from experiencing what God wants you to experience. We just finished our retreat here, and now it's time for like the 4-hour drive back home. Somehow Emily's out here in the forest, frolicking like a little forest child. Babe, what are you doing? You're getting your nature. Why are you gonna do that? We finally made it home after being on the road for about 4 or so hours. And before we wrap up this video, I want to share with you a little tip. If you've ever seen those movies where an angel will appear on either side of the character's shoulders, I actually will sometimes visualize that because I recognize that there are voices that enter my head that are not my own. And a lot of times when they're encouraging and they're positive, I recognize that as the voice of God trying to lead me in a particular direction. But in those moments where I'm afraid, in those moments that I'm about to stop doing what I know that God has called me to do, I recognize those voices as lies. They're coming coming from the enemy. They're not really my own thoughts, nor are they the thoughts that God would want me to have. And so being able to recognize the source of those thoughts, the source of those anxieties and fears, really helps me to recognize that, hey, I can actually choose to say no to those thoughts and be able to choose a different course of action. Oh, before I forget, I just realized in the last day or so, my channel did pass the 200 subscriber threshold, which has been pretty awesome. I actually didn't anticipate to do that for like all the way until 2017. So to see your guys' responses and to see the community taking place, it is really awesome. I'm humbled, and it's just an awesome blessing. Which reminds me, tonight's prayer request comes from our friends in Maryland. They have a YouTube channel called Joy the Wonder Baby. You can check it out. And they're praying because they are expecting their second child, and they're just wanting to ask that God would bless them with, you know, health and everything going well with their pregnancy. If you have a prayer request, don't forget to leave it in the comment section below. I will definitely be praying for it, as well as many other members in this community. That is it for tonight. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and even subscribe. Especially if you've been blessed by this video or other videos in the past, don't hesitate to share it with other people and to spread that blessing around. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, God bless and good night. So I'm trying to see if Emily can hum and whistle at the same time. It goes like this. Here's what she does. Try again. Babe, you know you're not whistling or humming.
Yeah.